So this video marks week 3 with Indie. I've been training her for 3 weeks. She came to me completely wild 3 weeks ago, and I'm training her for the Las Vegas Mustang Challenge, which is November 1st through 3rd. Throughout week 3, we focused a lot on cleaning up all of her groundwork. She took a while to learn how to walk next to me. She always wanted to stay behind me. So this past week, she learned about staying close to me while walking. She learned how to trot in hand. And we just did a lot of work cleaning up our lunging, our pivoting, side passing, just overall all of our groundwork and all of the ground maneuvers. I really wanted to clean those up and get those more advanced before we start moving to some of the fun stuff like obstacles and trick work. Indie is still learning how to back away from the whip waving in the air. So she was a little slow with that, but we're just working on lunging here. I want her to back away from me before I send her out. And I really like how soft she is on her circles. She's really gotten a lot better about that. And so something that I introduced this past week was changing directions with the whip crossing over. And my first time asking it, she got a little hesitant and she got stuck, but she realized what I was asking. And for the next few minutes, we just worked on our changing of directions and just getting that more cleaned up and some consistency with it. Indie understands the stop and come cue very well, but she has a hard time doing it at a trot. So I'm trying to encourage her to trot to me versus just walking. And here with stopping from the trot, I'm over-exaggerating my body language. I bring my body back and I definitely over-exaggerate my arm coming back because I want to install that cue and I want her to be able to pick up my body language quicker and have a nice fast stop. So in these beginning stages, I over-exaggerate how I am when we stop so she knows what to look for in the future. There's definitely a lot to clean up with her pivoting, but I really like that she's moving off my body language and verbal cue. I don't have to touch her shoulder and she just moves over with me facing her and walking towards her. Now, a big thing we've been working on this week is Indie side passing while I side pass. So she's pretty much watching my body language, and that's what's telling her to move over. I'm not touching her, I'm not really doing much, just letting her mimic my body language. And I really love how she side passes to me here. So the first trick I've introduced to Indie is the Spanish walk. So we first started with individual legs, and now she's starting to learn how to walk forward with it. So it's definitely a work in progress, and she's slowly learning that I don't have to touch her for her to Spanish walk. I just kind of keep the whip in front of her legs, but she definitely needs more guidance from me right now. But this should get cleaned up over time, and it's already looking pretty good. So here I'm going to back her off the bridge, and this is kind of like a baby step, preparing her to back off a trailer. And we've only done a little bit work on trailer loading. I've brought her off property a few times, but we haven't done too much work on it. So Next week, that's going to be a lot of our focus, working on trailer loading. So backing her off the bridge and the pedestals really helps prepare them for that. Another thing is she's learning how to be patient. She has to step her front feet onto the pedestal and wait for me to tell her to bring her back feet up instead of anticipating just stepping right onto it with all 4 feet. So she has to wait and then wait to be called up. And she's learning how to stay there while I walk around her. And yet again, we're going to back off of this pedestal. It's a little bit higher up than the bridge and a little bit lower than the trailer. So it's that perfect in between, and it should have her pretty confident for when we have to back out of the trailer.